Warning, the following video may contain the worst rallycross driving ever seen on the internet. You have been warned. What is going on, guys? Shootmaster22 here, and welcome back to the Rallycross AOR League. And today we are at Hell in Norway for round 3, and as you might have seen by the intro, it's not the best race for me so far. Last week was a little bit better, but here we have the track in front of us. Really good track to race on, actually, up and down, and the Joker Up doesn't take too long, unlike last week in Lydden Hill. But we are again in the Ford Focus. I might change it up for next week just to see how it goes. But we are in a lobby with iBluffer, Infinity and Nopals. So all good drivers. And there are 3 Ford RSRXs which are giant compared to that little Seat that Nopals is driving. Again, I don't know any setups, but I was speaking to some of the other drivers and they were saying just leave it as standard because the game does a decent setup. If you want to be really specific, you can tweak it, but I just stick with what I've got, and it works perfectly well. So we're just waiting for Infinity to finish off his setups. But like I said, it's not the best race in the world from myself this week. Hopefully next week will be better. So if you saw Matt212 stream on Twitch, you will know exactly what happened. But you haven't, you can see it firsthand. So we're here in heat number 1 on the grid. We're sandwiched between both the Fords. 3 red lights, and we held for ages as usual. And away we go. 3 green lights. We get a brilliant start, and I decided to go for the Joker Up first time around, but Nopals is there. We had a bit of contact, and that sends us sideways, so that's ruined our race pretty much already because we were miles behind, and we had to cut back to make sure we didn't get any warnings from the stewards and get a 10-second penalty like we did in Lydden Hill. So you go down the hill on tarmac into a tight right-hander, which on the gravel, you sideways a lot of this race compared, well then again, you're always sideways in Rallycross, let's take that back, but then again sideways round this left-hander, and this final bend I could never get right, or could never get the gearing or the entry point right, and I always went sideways. But in 3rd gear, you go over the jump, make sure you don't go too far left, otherwise you're doing a barrel roll over the start finish line. This first corner as well, I kept on cutting it or going wide and just ruined my my entry, but I've managed to overtake iBluffer as he did at his Joker Lap. So we're in 3rd place behind Nopals. Infinity is staying out so far, and he waits till the last lap to do his Joker Lap to make sure he doesn't get any contact with anybody else, which is a good idea actually. That's what I should have done, but decided to go for in lap 1. You go around the final bend here, nail it a bit better. No, we don't. We still go wide there. They did a lot of practice on this track. Unfortunately, the AI in this game aren't good enough because you can pretty much lap them on the hardest difficulty, unfortunately. And maybe I should do some online, and maybe that'll get some more competition then. But anyone else watching it who play Rallycross want to do some practicing, give me a shout because I wouldn't mind doing some of that. But we've still got Nopals and Infinity in front of us on lap number 3 after the 4. Onto the gravel again, just drifting it round these bends, trying not make sure we don't hit the inside barrier there, and otherwise it sends us flying up into the grass area on the right side. You sort of nail that corner finally, but still struggled throughout the whole practicing and the actual races as well. But Infinity does his Joker Lap. Make sure we don't go wide round the exit of the Joker, unlike last week where we had a bit of contact with cars humping each other, and that was all my fault. But we go around one of the bends. Sorry, that's not the final bend. But we're not far from Infinity, but it's difficult to overtake around this track. It's difficult to overtake in Rallycross in general. But he is a bit faster than myself, so he stays in front of us, going across the line, and I'm in the wrong gear, so it doesn't help. You go across the line in 3rd place, which is not too bad, but of course is all to do with time in these Rallycross sessions, and we messed up the first part with the Joker Lap, unfortunately, so that ruined our time around this in this first heat, as I will quickly click on it. There we go. So I did a 2:27.5, which is not a great lap, because I saw the first heat with some of the other guys and they were doing 2:23, 24, which is far faster than what I was doing, unfortunately. So I will fast forward to heat number 2. and where you will see the real hell on this track. So here we are for heat number 2. We've got the Icebergs, myself, So Kinky, and Jammin 0123. So it should be another interesting lobby. And this is where I mess up massively. So you'll see in the next couple of minutes what happens and why this video is so much shorter than last week's video. But hopefully we don't have any contact with So Kinky like we did in Linden Hill. I'll try my best not to have any contact with him. But this track is a good track. I just don't think I mastered it that well. And hopefully next week's track I can do a bit better. I think we're in Sweden next week. So just waiting for everyone to load in. So we've got 2 Fords and 2 Volkswagen Golfs, I think. So it should be it's an even split. So we'll have to wait and see how this lobby goes down. So here we are onto the grid.
Okay,
we are on the inside line this time round. So this should make turn 1 a bit easier. So from what I remember, I think I go down... I don't do the joke lap, I stay on the track and then do the joke lap second lap, from what I remember. We've got So Kinky on our left, so hopefully he doesn't bash us as we start off this race. 3 red lights, and off we go for the second heat of the AOR Round 3 Rallycross, sorry. We took the inside line, a bit of contact with Kinky as we go through the first bend. We were in first place, he's got the inside line, so I go a bit wide, make sure we don't have any contact. Bit of bashing there between the two of us, but I've still got the inside line going down to turn number 3. I cut that massively, which is not ideal, so Kinky goes round the outside of me with more grip than I do. So now in second place. Both the 3rd and 4th places, the Icebergs and Jammin, go for their joker laps, but we put it down the inside of Kinky, block him off there to make sure he can't get past as you go on to lap number 2. And then this is where we decide to do the joker lap, and we go very sideways and cut the corner again. So does Kinky, both all over the place, which is not ideal. But we're down to 3rd place, but a contact with there, so we're trying to put it down the inside. So at this point, I don't know what I'm doing, but then I do this.
Shake it off, come on, now I'm done. Shake it off.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
I don't know. I can't even explain to you how I managed to get into that position. And at this point as well, it wouldn't let me respawn. Maybe if I pressed start and changed it, I could have respawned. But I'm sitting there spinning my wheels up and not being able to respawn. So this is, I guess, karma from last week with what I did in the semi-final. So we are completely stuck with the time ticking down, 3, 2, 1, and we're disqualified. So that is us out. Perfect Tuesday night Rallycross from myself. So that was me out completely because I had no time for the second heat and had a bad time in the first heat. So that ruined everything for me and I was disqualified. And that was me out, and I couldn't get any further, unfortunately. So, yeah, a lot different to last week. But that rounds off for this episode of Rallycross. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe as well. And I'll see you next week for some Rallycross. And I will have more videos, of course, before then. So stay subscribed. Press that bell as well, because you get notified when I upload a video. So I'll see you next week. Good night.